Hello and welcome to the Ice Guys. This is the show that takes you into the world of the National Hockey League. Every game, every day, from a betting perspective. With pro sports handicappers, Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith, and various guests from the world of hockey and sports betting. And now, here's your host, Ian Cameron.
Welcome to the Ice Guys, Wednesday, January 7th. Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith with you, ready to break down the Wednesday NHL card. 5 games on tap tonight. We'll get to those in just a moment. We'll first, as always, look back on what we saw on Tuesday night, and pretty entertaining night overall. There's always some good games. There's always some fascinating results. The Buffalo Sabres, we'll start with them. They deserve the credit. It's important when you have a long win streak, and then you finally lose and you have the win streak get snapped, the 10-game win streak in the case of Buffalo. You don't let it, devolve into a losing streak the other way. And Buffalo did a nice job last night, bouncing right back after having the 10-game win streak snapped. They beat Vancouver 5-3 last night. Got a little interesting at the end because 4-0 Buffalo turned to 4-3, but the Buffalo Sabres do hang on for a 5-3 win against Vancouver to make them now, 11-1 in their last 12 games. So quite the run for the Sabres. UPL, another pretty solid. Now, third period, he gave up a couple, but still overall a pretty good performance from him and a nice win there for the Buffalo Sabres. And how about that crowd in Buffalo last night? They're coming back, folks. They're coming back. All you have to do is show them a little semblance of good play and winning, and it's amazing how the Sabre fans are starting to come back into KeyBank Center these last few home games. So Buffalo with a 5-3 win. Struggles continue for the Dallas Stars. 6-3 Carolina last night. It was a rough night for Jake Ottinger. It was a rough night for the Stars. He got yanked after giving up 5 goals. Casey DeSmith had to finish that game in net for the Stars. Brandon Bussey, pretty solid overall. And Logan Stankoven, we talked about this on the show. I really like that. That actually could have been a bargain bin special for me. It was on the radar. It was in the contenders list. It didn't quite get there, but we did bet it. And Logan Stankoven with the goal against his former. And what a goal it was. And you know what's funny is he beat Mikko Rantanen on the other side of that Carolina goal that he scored. So very impressive. K'Andre Miller had a great night, 2-goal night for K'Andre Miller for the Hurricanes, and a nice 6-3 win for them over the Dallas Stars in their return, welcoming Seth Jarvis back in the lineup last night. So nice win there for Carolina. Tampa Bay, another win for them. That's 8 wins in a row, all of which they score at least 4 goals. The offense rolling. And an 8th straight win for Tampa Bay. And I believe the first time this year that Colorado has lost back-to-back games in regulation time this season. Hard to believe. It's January 6th last night, and that's the first time for Colorado that's happened. But nice win there for Tampa Bay, 4-2 over Colorado in that game. We ended up having a push with the over in that game, so no harm, no foul. Philadelphia, 5-2 over the Anaheim Ducks. Anaheim games keep going over the total. It happened again last night. It was a good start for Anaheim, but couldn't sustain it. They gave up 39 shots to Philadelphia. And here's the problem. It's not that Joel Quenneville's not solving the issues. You can't solve the issues when you're playing so many games. And now you're on a road trip. Name me the opportunity Anaheim's going to have to practice and fix these issues defensively. Give me the free space in the calendar for that to happen. You can't find it. There is none. So you're just going to have to, on the fly, hope that Anaheim is going to sort out these defensive issues that they have right now. And unfortunately, that's the problem. You can't work at things when you're playing this many games in a row. 5-2 win for Philadelphia. There was a scary incident there with Jamie Drysdale during that game. You hope he'll be okay, but he had to be helped off the ice there in that game. But Philly's in a playoff spot. Philly's 3rd in the Metro now. So let's give Rick Tocchet and the Philadelphia Flyers credit. All the gut intuitions we went with for this game from a prop standpoint just worked out perfectly. Trevor Zegras, we said he'd be live. He'd be wanting to make an impact against his old team, and he scores 2 goals in the first period. And Cutter Gauthier scored the very first goal of the game for the Anaheim Ducks in a place where he heard the boo birds pretty much every time he touched the puck last night in Philadelphia. So the prop recommendations and suggestions worked out well there. How about the bombing? 9-0 New York Islanders over the New Jersey Devils. Terrible stuff from the New Jersey Devils. And I know Sheldon Keefe was trying to talk into this circular logic spiel in the postgame saying, well, we had 44 shots and it was one of our best offensive games in a very long time. What? He didn't score a damn goal, man. I get it. 44 shots and you generated this and you generated that and expected goals this and high danger that. I get it. But at the end of the day, you know how many actual goals you scored? This. Zilch. 0. None. And I'm hearing him after the game, Sheldon Keefe, talking about this was one of the better offensive games we've had in a long time. It's not a great offensive game with 44 shots and no goals. I don't care if it's 60 shots and no goals. You can't call a game where you don't put the puck in the freaking net a good offensive game. That's absurd. You know, I don't want to hear it, quite honestly. When that was bizarre to hear that from Sheldon in the postgame, and he looked like he was searching for answers. And it was bizarre in the fact that, based on the flow of the game, 44-24 shots in favor of the Devils. Based on the flow of the game, there's no way it should have been 9-0 Islanders. It actually should have been a New Jersey victory. It should have been probably closer to 4-1, 5-1 New Jersey, quite honestly. But it was one of those once-in-a-million games where everything was the actual result was totally opposite of what you were seeing as far as the box score, as far as the chances, as far as its offensive zone time, all of that, which was heavily in favor of New Jersey. But at the end of the day, you got to put the puck in the net and you need your goaltender to play well. And it was a brutal night for Markstrom. And it seemed like every time the Devils gave up something to the Islanders, it was a grade A chance and the Islanders put it in. And New Jersey could not put any of their grade A chances in. And Sorokin was fantastic. There's no doubt. He was absolutely terrific in his first start back, after being out for some period of time. But at the end of the day, I cannot listen to a coach say one of our better offensive games in some time when he scored no goals. I can't. That's just, I can't believe it. I get it. I get there's lots to like and elements of the game, but at the end of the day, you lost 9-0 and you didn't score. You can't call that a feel-good moment, and finding a way to win. So, like I said, they're finding positives out of a game like that. So 9-0 Islanders, terrible stuff there. Terrible was Florida last night. They were awful. Toronto dominated that hockey game. They were all over them. They didn't have the puck much of the night. They won all the battles for loose pucks. They got to the front of the net. They did all the things Florida normally does. Toronto did it to them last night. Austin Matthews, great ceremony with Matt Sundin, presenting him with the portrait there for being the all-time leading goal scorer now for the Leafs. What a class act Matt Sundin is, because Austin Matthews obviously passed him to become the all-time leading goal scorer. So that was a great moment. No question about it. But Toronto was just, it was a terrible game from Florida. They just didn't have their skating legs, and they got outplayed in every which way last night by the Toronto Maple Leafs. It pissed me off because I didn't get enough out of Florida for the over for the best bet. So we fall short with that. Toronto wins 4-1. Win or lose, you can always count on Paul Maurice and something interesting, whoa, I didn't know that, or something funny from Paul Maurice every time he does a post-game press conference. And his quote after the game spoke volumes. That's exactly the way I felt. We started the game slow, and then we found a way to get even slower, he said. Yeah, so that sums it up right there by Paul Maurice. It's a perfect sentiment to the night for the Florida Panthers because they looked like they were skating in quicksand. And Toronto with a very thorough, very dominant 4-1 win. Matthew Nyes was great last night. Matthews, of course, scores another goal. That's such great news for the Leafs. And I was impressed with no Tanev and no McCabe while they shut down Florida. So credit to Carlo and all the other blue liners stepping up, pulling up their socks last night with their two best shutdown defensemen out. We saw Vegas beat Winnipeg 4-3. Just another soul-sucking loss for Winnipeg. Another game that was there for the picking. 3-2 lead. You end up obviously losing 4-3 in overtime. Brutal loss. Another painful, brutal loss where you had the lead and you blew it for the Winnipeg Jets. Another game. We had a lot of scary incidents in the NHL last night. This game with Hayden Fleury. Yes. Terrible crash into the end boards. And Kolasar, it was a collision with Kolasar, and Fleury went into the end boards. And Kolasar, class act, and Adam Lowry, one of my favorite captains, doing the honor code. It doesn't matter if it was accidental or not. Our guy is stretchered off the ice. You've got to answer for it. And Kolasar and dropped the gloves right after that with Lowry. Well done for Kolasar for answering the bell. And obviously great job, Lowry, commanding, hey, let's go. You got to atone for that here. So well done. That's the code working with Lowry and Kolasar there in that Vegas-Winnipeg game last night. So, again, great to see that. And like I said, I don't know what the answers are now for Winnipeg. It's not just losing. It's some of these have been just crushing defeats. Just the Toronto game last week, for instance. And now this one here last night when you had multiple leads and you couldn't bring it home. Edmonton 6-2 over Nashville. This was a good game. I had team total over on the Oilers, full game over. And I'm telling you, Edmonton overs until they get Jari back. And even with Jari, I'm not sure, he's better than what they got right now. I will say this about Jari. Jari's better than what they have right now. I mean, Ingram and Pickard are, stopgap measures right now in net for the Edmonton Oilers. So nice to cash both of those bets. Didn't look good early because it was 1-0. We did cash San Jose first goal, first period, which was great right in the final minute. 5-2, we hit the over in that game. And not one, but two bargain bin specials come through for us in that game. One for me, one for Alex. I had Pavel Regenda, plus 475. You got to keep betting that guy now. He had a hat trick against Tampa, had another goal last night. Alex, what a call for Wenberg. He scored, obviously, the second San Jose goal against his former team, getting power play time as well. Perfect call there. Wenberg plus 400 range for his special bargain bin. So we each had a bargain bin winner from the same game and the same team coming through for us.
And I think that might be a first where we've had not only same team, same game, but back-to-back, literally. You had the first goal and I had the second goal. So that might be a first in show history.
Yeah, that was definitely the case. No question about that. So, yeah, that was great. And, of course, we had the full game over, and it came through late for us, 5-2 for San Jose in that game. And last but not least, I mean, one of the hottest teams right now in the NHL, and now we can say it after last night, believe it or not, is the Seattle Kraken. It's crazy. It's 7-4, and the offense, where did this offense come from? And they're scoring goals now, suddenly, Seattle. And it's been a nice run for them. They beat Boston 7-4. You know what makes that win even more impressive? This team they could not get a win on a back-to-back to save their lives. And it was a back-to-back. They were in Calgary the night before, and they were on that 17 consecutive game losing streak on the second night of back-to-backs. And Boston had the rest advantage, and Seattle beats them 7-4, pretty much leads wire to wire. It wasn't a great night for Swayman, I will say that. It was definitely not one of his better nights, but still, you got to give Seattle credit. They found some offense now. Everybody up and down the lineup contributing. The goaltending, the Decord's usually solid more often than not, and Grubauer's been good lately. So there's a lot of positive vibes running through the Kraken right now during this great run that they have been on. You look at the recent last 10 games for Seattle, it's been quite the run. They're now 8-1 in their last 9 games, the Seattle Kraken. Great run for them. They're in a playoff spot right now, and that's what it takes. You put a run like this together, and with everything so, I'm being kind, Aaron, when it comes to Swayman. I said Swayman was not good. Aaron said Swayman was shit. You're right. It was a bad night for Jeremy Swayman. But you got to give Seattle credit. I mean, this is now 8 of their last 9 they've won, and they're in a playoff spot. We wrote them off about a month ago, and they didn't write back, apparently. That's the old Geno Smith line, which is, of course, former Seattle quarterback. So the connection makes sense, me bringing that up. So, yeah, Seattle, 8 of their last 9. Well done by them. Alex, your thoughts on a very busy Tuesday night?
Yeah, like I said, a very busy one, a very interesting night. Like I said, a lot of incidents, a lot of weird, scary incidents. I was on SportsX Radio with Ken
One last
Thompson.
thing before we continue. Olivier Reeves. Oh, my God, in the Columbus San Jose game. Unbelievable fight. I've never seen Reeves tagged like that and go down like that to an opponent in a fight. That tells you how fucking tough. And right now, Reeves was the number 1 heavyweight in the NHL. But Olivier was knocking on the door. Matthew Olivier. We may have to say dead heat, or maybe even Olivier taking the number 1 spot after that game last night. That was impressive. Yep. Reeves just doesn't get tagged like that ever.
No.
Hardly.
No, he doesn't. And I'll mention that in a point. But just starting off with that Vegas and Winnipeg game, I was on radio when that hit happened. And like I said, it was during a commercial break when I got to watch that clip. It was very odd where, like I said, it wasn't Keegan Kolasar is necessarily his fault. He bumps into Hayden Fleury. Fleury loses his balance and then tips over backwards into the boards. And it was just an awkward hit. But like you said, I said it on live radio. You said it now. Shout out to Keegan Kolasar for answering the bell, knowing that you had to fight somebody. Of course, Adam Lowry would be the guy to step up and stand up for his team, stand up for his teammate. Like you said, those are the moments where, fighting in hockey makes sense. You needed something to bring that crowd back, if nothing else. It was just dead silence because no one knew what exactly had happened. Like I said, you see this hit, you see the replay, and it didn't look like the malicious or really even an ugly hit. Just the collision and the awkward fall is what made that the case. But that's another bad loss, like you said, for this Winnipeg team, where it looked like, okay, they scored after that. Kind of looked like they could rally off of the momentum of having that incident happening with a teammate. We've seen that happen time and time again. But Vegas showing that resiliency and the toughness, getting that game in the OT, and then getting the game winner. It's a big win for Vegas. And when you look at everything, you talk about Seattle, talk about this log jam of where teams have kind of roller coastered with one another. We saw the Pacific be hot. Now everybody in the Pacific was kind of cooling off. But like you said, because of that reason, we have a gap of literally 8 points separating first from seventh. And you have teams like Seattle now firmly in a spot in the 3 seed, no less, third in that division. It's going to make things interesting. And now you have, opening in the Central as well in that wild card race. You're looking at everything tight with Utah. We got a big matchup tonight with Chicago and St. Louis, Nashville in there. So you have a whole bunch of teams that are still in this race that we've hit the halfway point, 41 games with everyone. But the Seattle game, I'm sorry, the Columbus San Jose game was certainly the game of the night. I absolutely crushed this game. Had a money line tied with that over 4.5. Team total gets there thanks to Dean Evison pulling the goalie twice, getting those 2 empty netters that helped you out with the full game over. And then you had that. Yep. And then for us to both cash our bargain bins, that was absolutely wonderful. But like you said, the icing on the cake with that game was the fight of the year, probably the fight of the last 3 years, and the change of the guard. I said it on Twitter. I said this was the NHL equivalent to when Tyson Fury knocked out Vladimir Klitschko and took over the heavyweight title after Klitschko's run for so long. Matthew Olivier is the heavyweight champion in the National Hockey League after that fight and that knockout, and the punch in which he did it too. A straight cross and then pulling the punch back, and that's literally the back fist is what ends up knocking down Reeves. And like you said, Reeves, a guy who's been a tough customer. Somebody was trying to chirp him on Twitter last night. Says, "Has Revo ever won a fight?" This guy was one of the best fighters in the league when there were still plenty of quality fighters in the league. I remember watching this guy all the way back in his time in Peoria in the AHL. Ryan Reeves is a tough customer. He got his shit handed to him last night by another tough customer, a tougher customer, I'd even say, in Matthew Olivier. So that was a great fight on top of a great game with some wonderful profits. And like I said, certainly the best game of 2026 so far. I know there'll be other games to eclipse it, but that is definitely number one. And certainly, like I said, one of the best fights we've seen in the last couple of years.
We sure did. Very, like I said, it was a very energetic night. Lots of stuff going on as far as, entertaining games, crazy results, fights, a lot of animosity too. And obviously some scary incidents that involved the risks of the health, I guess you could say, of certain players, including and certainly Fleury, Drysdale, and we certainly hope they're okay as well following what happened to them last night. All right, we got Dallas and Washington as we start our Wednesday card analysis. Washington minus 120, home favorites, 6 the total. This is the first of a TNT doubleheader here on this Wednesday. I forgot to mention yesterday's show that Florida-Toronto was a TNT game. I didn't even know that until right before puck drop. But yeah, Panthers-Leafs was a TNT game last night. But we have a doubleheader tonight. This is one of them. Alex's Blackhawks are in the second game of the doubleheader. I'm taking a shot with Dallas here. I know they're not playing well, but I got a better price, though. I mean, this is clearly I'm not the only one that likes Dallas because Washington was like minus 140 when this line opened, and now it's down all the way to minus 120 here in this spot. I'm going to take a shot with Dallas. Casey DeSmith's played okay. Let's not forget that. He's played pretty well here in between the pipes for the Dallas Stars, and obviously he came in to finish the game for Jake Ottinger, who got pulled last night against Carolina. Don't forget, there's still some key absences here for Washington. Tom Wilson and Alexei Protas are out for the Capitals. And Washington, they beat Anaheim on Monday night, but boy, they had to hang on, for dear life there in that game. We'll see if they are able to certainly, play a little bit better defensively. Here's the thing with this game. My first thought is with Dallas struggling defensively but still scoring and Washington trending over, my first thought was over. And I've got this real pit in the gut feel to me in this game. Both teams are going to really try to clamp down. I really do. After Dallas gave up, 6 goals last night, and Miro Heiskanen was talking about it as well, that, we got to be much better in the D zone. That was a quote from him after the loss against Carolina last night. So, and not to mention, DeSmith's got solid numbers. He's been solid this year for Dallas. It's not like he hasn't played great or he's not capable. And Thompson's back in net for Washington. He hasn't been as sharp lately, but, I think there's a chance he's going to want to play better here in this game. But I'm going to take at this price Dallas a shot with them. And I like the back-to-back success that the Dallas Stars have had this year. 5-1 they are on the second night of back-to-back games. So they've actually been one of the teams that's been good here on the second night of back-to-back. So, like I said, even though they're struggling mightily, I don't think Washington's overall form is the form of a world beater at this point in time currently. So, like I said, I took a shot with Dallas. I got plus 115. That price is long gone, but at even money, I still would recommend taking a shot here with the Stars in this one. Alex, what do you think here for TNT, the first of the doubleheader, Stars, Caps?
Yeah, I'm expecting this to be a kind of tightly defensive game too, and I'm just absolutely stunned that I'm able to put this together. This is SGP at FanDuel. You can get the draw with under 8.5 plus 363. I like that quite a bit. I could see this game going to overtime, and I like the under here. So that's something I will have separate. But at 6, I'll play the under here as well, full game, just straight up, and go under 6. Like I said, DeSmith has had decent numbers. And yes, we've seen Washington kind of explode with offense against an Anaheim team. But keep in mind, it's an Anaheim team that's been slumping. Also had goaltending issues, had to switch out in the middle of that game as well. So I like the under here. Give me the full game under 6, but give me that under 8.5 to tie with the draw as well.
Yeah, Justin Sordiff with the hat trick against Anaheim. Certainly if you're going to ride the hot hand as far as goal props for Washington, that's certainly a consideration right there as far as him. He was great in that game, and he's actually been noticeable lately for the Capitals. So I certainly see that and maybe taking a shot there with his goal prop. There he is, Perlo. We've had some issues with getting this damn link.
Yeah.
Perlo, and I just realized the link is the same. So just go back and
find
okay. It's the same link.
Yeah, I bookmarked the link. So.
Yeah, it's the same link. So basically, I just send it because I always send it to Alex. It's just like an alert to him that, hey, I'm ready to rock anytime you are. So that's why I still send him the link when I do. But it's always the same one. But he found us, and we found him. Perlo on the show. Perlo, what do you think here? Dallas, Washington.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, neither one of them are. You were saying that I was hoping you would be saying you'd be on the over here, but I have a hard time taking the over as well. I'm not really tab on much, and this.
When your best defenseman is saying we need to show up in the defensive zone a whole lot better. Yeah, that's enough to pump the brake for me.
That's the thing, and I think the draw is the play. When I'm going back and forth like this, I'll probably just go with the draw. However, Thompson over 22.5 saves. I like that. He's Washington's been giving up a lot of shots lately. If you look at like 30, 35, and Dallas isn't really a high volume shooting team, but I think they can get over 25 to 26. And then we just got to hope that Thompson stays to form. That's probably my best play here in the draw. I really don't have all that much on this game. I don't have a good feel for it.
All right, next up. Oh, by the way, yeah, as far as I finished my thought there on the props here for this game. Like I said, by the way, too, Ryan Leonard. I like Ryan Leonard here for Washington. He's someone that now with Protas and Wilson out, more ice time, more opportunity, scored against Anaheim. He is definitely someone that I think could get a little bump from all these injuries up front that the Capitals have right now. And he scored in back-to-back games, so I like Ryan Leonard here. You mentioned Sordiff. No argument there as well for Dallas. When I look at them going into this game, Duchesne on the top line, there's value. Maverick Bourque, second line, I think there's value there too. So those
forgot to mention that Duchesne over shots, right? I do like that. So
makes sense. He's up there with Johnston and Rantanen right now on the top line. All right, Calgary, Montreal. We've got Montreal minus 150, home favorite, 6 the total in this game. This is the spot I've had circled for a long time now. Montreal, first game after a 7-game road trip. First game home off a very long 7-game road trip. Now, I will say this. The road trip was broken up, I believe, by the Christmas holiday. Some of this road trip started before the Christmas break, but still, they had 5 of the 7 games after the Christmas break. It was a pretty good road trip overall. They went, it looks like 4-3 in the 7 games. They won 3 of the last 4 games on the road trip and beating all the good teams. Florida in overtime, Carolina on the road, Dallas in overtime in their last game. And now you're back home here in this spot facing the Calgary Flames. And by the way, it's not Dobish, it's Jacob Fowler. Someone in the chat saying it's Dobish. It's Jacob Fowler in net here for the Montreal Canadiens tonight. And he's been pretty solid for the Montreal Canadiens. Of course, he was in net for the last time he was in net. It was the St. Louis game in St. Louis, and he played pretty well. Even though St. Louis won 2-0, he still played pretty well in that game. For Calgary, it'll be Dustin Wolf in net for this one. But the spot that I have had circled for a long time now going into this game, and I don't think it hurts either. In fact, it might help that we've got Calgary too starting this road trip, coming off a couple of disappointing home losses and setbacks to Seattle and Nashville. And I think they take the road with, hey, let's get away from home. Let's really start to sort things out and get back to our game, because they were playing well, Calgary, before the last 2 losses in a row, I should say, at home. Really, really like Calgary first goal, first period tonight in this game. I think it's just a brilliant spot for it. We've cashed in this spot how many times this year? That opening 20 minutes, that opening stanza for teams when they've been on the road that long and you don't have your legs, you're outplayed, you're stuck in your own zone. The other team's carrying the play in the offensive zone. It's happened time and time and time again this season for teams coming off the road trip in a spot like this. So I think Calgary can jump on them early. I think they'll be aggressive early, a fast start after to start this road trip the right way. Plus 140 at FanDuel for first goal, first period, Calgary Flames. I like that quite a bit. I'll dabble in the first period money line on Calgary too. And I think Calgary full game money line as well in this game, but less on that. I like the first period angles and the early looks for Calgary a lot more here in this game tonight. Probably first period over might be worth a shot as well. Alex, what do you think here? Calgary, Montreal.
I'll be on first period over in game, but pre-game I am on Flames first goal, first period, plus 148. Grab that at FanDuel as well. And I also have plus 148 on both teams to score in the first period. I definitely think we can see some energy early in this contest, but I want to get a little bit better of a number. I want to lay 145, 150 on that first period over. So wait in game for the first period over, but grab both teams to score and Calgary first goal of first period pregame.
Well, we're cooking with fucking gas with these first goal, first period bets, man.
Hit it last night with San Jose.
Last night with San Jose. And I think I'm damn close to 70% winners, 70% percentage since I've started betting these first goal, first periods. And it was about a month and a half ago, started to get involved more with this market. And boy, it has certainly been profitable. And we've picked spots like this time and time again. With that first goal, first period. So like I said, I think it makes a lot of sense here. Calgary gets the first goal of this game here against Montreal in that opening 20 minutes. Perlo, what do you think here? Flames, Habs.
Yeah, I'm right on there with you. Everything you guys just said is basically what I have. I am going to put a little boost up. I'm going to take the first goal by Calgary. I'm also going to take a goal. I'm going to take the Perlo special here. Goal for Calgary, and Montreal's a good second period team. So I'm going to do the little Perlo special on top of that, but just a great spot, and it's been going with it. So I'm tailing you on it. I kind of like the Flames team total over 3 at plus 110 as well. I'm going to throw a little bit on that. I don't know if I trust them to win the game, but if they do win the game, they're probably going to have to get 3. I don't think this is going to be a 2-1 game. So I like that. Plus 110. I'll sprinkle a little bit on that. But the bigger play is going to be those first period plays, like you said.
All right, good stuff there. And by the way, Calgary's won 2 in a row here at Bell Center against the Montreal Canadiens. And they've actually won 4 of the last 5 overall against the Montreal Canadiens. Montreal did beat them earlier this year, though. Overtime win in Calgary, 2-1. Back in October. But before that, Calgary had won 4 straight games against the Canadiens, including 2 in a row here at the Bell Center. So like I said, I'm on the full game money line as well, but it's definitely not as substantial an investment for me as the first period looks. I really like the period money line, first goal, first period for this Calgary Flames team here in this one. Total, it could go either way. Fowler, I'm not as in love with Montreal overs with Fowler. If it's Dobish, I'm a little more interested. If it's Montembeault, certainly I'm a little bit more interested. But with Fowler has played well the last couple times I've seen him play. Remember, he beat Boston, played well. Beat St. Louis, he was in, and even though they lost, he only gave up 2 goals, and that was an under. So, like I said, something to keep in mind here. The draw as well, says Jonathan. Yeah, actually, you know what? Don't talk me into it, but yeah, I could see it. I could see this maybe being a draw here, Calgary and Montreal tonight. We'll see about that. All right, as far as props go for this game, let me see here. We've got, obviously, Klapka has actually been picking things up. Slavkovsky's been really good lately for the Montreal Canadiens, so there's a couple of props maybe to consider here in this game. All right, we move to the second of the TNT games, doubleheader here tonight, St. Louis, Chicago. We've got St. Louis minus 120 road favorites, 5.5 being the total here in this game. There's some good news on the horizon here for Chicago. Well, first of all, we give them credit for what they've started to do here. Is just with a Connor Bedard return on the horizon, Chicago is finding out finally how to win without him, and we've seen them win 3 in a row. Obviously, beating Dallas 4-3, beating Washington in a shootout, Vegas in overtime. So 3 straight wins here for the Blackhawks going into this game here tonight. I'm not getting in their way right now. I like the way they're playing. But St. Louis, we've talked about this with them. I'm starting to like what I'm seeing out of the Blues as well. Obviously, they've won back-to-back against Montreal and Vegas at home. It's Spencer Knight in net here for the Blackhawks tonight. And Jordan Binnington is going to be in net here for the St. Louis Blues. Very interesting, because Jim Montgomery said he was going to ride Hofer for a bit, and he did for a few starts. And then Binnington, who's been terrible much of the season, finally has a great start, and it was a great start. He was excellent against Montreal when the St. Louis Blues shut out the Habs 2-0. He was excellent in that game. It was one of the best NHL starts this season for Jordan Binnington. But there's still a part of me that says, I got to see it again. Let's see him stack good days together, as they say. Let's see him stack good starts in a row together here in this game for the St. Louis Blues. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm leaning Chicago here at a slight home underdog price. Certainly Spencer Knight, he was brilliant in the Washington game on Saturday. He was terrific in that game. I do lean Blackhawks here. I still think Knight, trust a little bit more than – I got to see more from Binnington. It was a hell of a start, but when you've had such a rough season and now all of a sudden you pull one great start out in your arsenal, you got to show me you can do more here moving forward. So I lean Blackhawks, but I haven't gotten involved. I'm not sure I will. Alex, what do you think? Blues, Blackhawks?
Give me the Blackhawks here at even money. Give me the team total over 3. You can get plus 115 at BetMGM, so flat 3 with that. I think this is a step-up spot for the Hawks. Like I said, they're right neck and neck in this division race, in this wild card race. Division rival, a team that they've played well, knowing how the history was and how this had been a one-sided affair for quite some time when the Hawks were in the middle of the rebuild. Now things have turned in the last couple of meetings. And, let's not forget, Connor Bedard is on his way back. He will not play in this game tonight, but last time we saw him was against the St. Louis Blues, that weird play at the end of the game where he ends up jamming his shoulder. Now, it wasn't anything, malicious on Braden Shen's part. And even Jeff Blashill said that Bedard had hurt that shoulder earlier in that game. But I'm pretty sure might have an answer the bell moment there with Braden Shen. And you got Captain Nick Foligno back. Hopefully his wrist is healthy enough. Maybe he can throw some hands for a little bit. But I think this is a step-up game for the Hawks here at home. So give me the Hawks on the money line and that team total at flat 3 plus 115.
Yeah, I lean Chicago. Another thing that kept me, why I didn't bet Chicago too, is because we all saw, I don't want to say we all saw it, but I saw it, people that are on top of this every day and following beat writers and reporters and on Twitter all the time, they saw it, that Connor Bedard was not only on the ice practicing, but he was not in a non-contact jersey for the first time in a while. It was a regular jersey, which tells you return is real fast on the horizon, maybe as early as this weekend. He could be back here for Chicago. My one concern now is, though, with him, Alex, about to be back, is it almost tonight like, hey, we're excited now. We're about to get our guy back. And, you lose focus a little bit tonight. So that's something to watch for tonight. We'll see.
Yeah, and another thing too, who's also skating, he was wearing a fishbowl in practice the last couple of days. Frank Nazar. That's
Yep.
another huge piece that they could be getting back, and if you get his return back as well, you've got a full complement of guys who obviously your two best forwards, but to add to, like you said, a team that's already gotten the vibe, like I said, figuring out how to play without those guys. I don't think it's necessarily going to be a drop off when those two are inserted back into the lineup.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Perla, what do you think here? Blues Blackhawks.
No, you added a little more information than I had before we started here. So I'm actually going to go something. I kind of see it a little different than you do, Ian. I think this is an opportunity for these kids. They know that Bedard is coming back. This is an opportunity for them to put a stamp on and say, you can trust us, and keep their place in the lineup, and really impress the coach that they can give it in these spots. I don't trust St. Louis. Okay, they won a couple of games, but they were outshot every one of those games. Like, you can only get outshot so many times before eventually. And I mean, they're only getting like 19 shots on net and stuff like that. So you could say they're kind of feeling it, but I got Chicago team total over as well here. My favorite play in this game, though, is Ryan Green over 1.5 shots, plus 105. He's been going 5, 4, 3, 4. And I imagine it's like another last gasp, not last gasp, but to impress the coach to say that, hey, you know what, I deserve to be here. So I could see him shooting a lot today against St. Louis. So plus 105 for 2 shots on the top line. I'll take it.
All right, there you have it. Good stuff there as far as Perlo with the shots on goal props. That's why Perlo, it's a good addition to the show for 2 days a week, because he'll give you shots on goal props. I mean, that's not a market I want any part of these days.
Yeah.
With the nonsense that goes on with taking shots away. But nevertheless, Perlo finds success and does the work. So that's why it's good he gives you that part of it here on the show when he's on. All right, as far as props, like I said, I'm going to go to Jonathan Berggren again for St. Louis. I like the way he's been stepping up offensively. 3 of the last 10, he's scored a goal. The value's good, plus 460. Like I said, really good price there for Berggren with the Blues going into this game as far as a goal prop is concerned. That's definitely the one I like the most on their side as far as value. For Chicago, we've talked about Bertuzzi, Green, Burakovsky. Take your pick with that top line. Mikheyev with the Trooper and Ryan Donato on the second line. We are, at the moment, still looking for Lardis to heat up, but he's got the 2 goals so far. But like I said, we'll see how he fares moving forward. But didn't bet Lardis tonight. As far as
neither did I. I do have a bargain bin from this game, but it is not Nick Lardis.
All right, Ottawa, Utah. We've got Utah minus 120, home favorite, 6 the total in this game. I mean, Ottawa against Detroit. That's what Ottawa's issue is right now. They can play well, they can carry the play, they can dominate the game, they can obviously deserve the 2 points. And at the end of the day, I don't know if the goaltending is good enough. And we saw that against Detroit. 5-3 loss to the Red Wings. They should have won that game. 39-19 in shots. They did everything right. They were pummeled. It was a shooting gallery on John Gibson, most of the night. You give Gibson credit. He played very well. But that's a game Ottawa should have won. And if they get any lick of goaltending, they do win that hockey game. But it seemed like every good chance Detroit got went in, and that's the issue right now. Whether it's Levi Merrilainen or whether it's Hunter Shepard, I don't have a whole lot of confidence in the goaltending in between the pipes here for Ottawa at the moment. I trust Ottawa to play well, carry the play, get chances, and score goals because they're doing all that in a good way right now, but I don't trust their goaltending at the moment. It's just that simple with these 2 guys in net. And so I'm on over 6 here with Ottawa and Utah. I think there's goals. 6-1 run to the over for Utah in their last 7 home games. So they've been obviously trending over here at Delta Center for the better part of the last several weeks. I trust Ottawa to score, and I think they will, regardless of who's in net here for the Utah Mammoth. It is a tricky spot for Utah. They're coming back off a little road trip. So I think Ottawa can do some offensive damage here tonight in this hockey game. It looks like at the moment here, as far as starting goaltenders are concerned, that we will see, I believe it's going to be Vejmelka versus Merrilainen here in this game. We'll just see what the latest update is here with it. It's Vejmelka for Utah, and they do expect Merrilainen here for Ottawa, although that's not confirmed as of yet. Yeah, I just think it's just an over. I think Ottawa will score, and I think Utah at home will score because their offensive numbers are better at home. We don't trust what Ottawa's doing with their goaltending right now. either. It seems like even just one or two grade A chances and pucks going in, because right now Maryline and the other guy, Shepard was not good either when he came into that game, replacing Maryline and against Detroit the other night. So, yeah, over 6 for me here with the Sens and the Mammoth. Alex, what do you think here? Ottawa, Utah.
Yeah, so I'm going with a little creative way to bet this over because I will be waiting for the 6 to drop to a 5.5 in game, but I'm going pregame. Dylan Gunther anytime goal tied with the alternate over at 5.5. You can get that plus 232 over at FanDuel. Like you said, it will be Levi Maryline, and that was confirmed on goalie post. And it's Mag Sogard that is his backup, which keep in mind, Mag Sogard, him and Frederick Anderson both named to the Olympic roster for Denmark moving forward. So those are guys that are, going to be playing some extra hockey. Really don't think you need to have Frederick Anderson playing any more extra hockey anywhere, but that's another story. I think that we can see goals in this game, but I'm going to get a little creative with it. Usually when Utah scores, when Utah wins, Dylan Gunther is part of the reason for it. So anytime goal with him tied to that 5.5 pregame at plus 232, and then try and look for just a flat or just a straight 5.5, I should say, in game.
All right, good stuff there as far as props are concerned. As far as, like I said, I'm going back to the well. I told you, this guy, don't let him get going. He's a streaky bastard. He can go 20 games without a goal, and then he could rip off an 8-10 game stretch where he's got 7 or 8 goals. Cuban Wayne Gretzky just mentioned it. Michael Carcone for the Utah Mammoth. That's what he does. This guy is a streak scorer. He couldn't buy one for the longest time. And now, I think of the Billy Joel song. For the longest time, he couldn't score a goddamn goal. Woo! That was Michael Carcone before this little stretch. And all of a sudden now, 2 straight games with a goal for him. So I like the value there in that plus 500 range for Michael Carcone for Utah. My favorite prop on their side. Although Dylan Gunther, I mean, never a bad idea to ask him to score a goal or bet him to score a goal. I still think Lawson Krause is worth a look too, just because he's still on the top line. Didn't work out last game, but like I said, still I think worth a look given the value with him up on the top line for Utah. For Ottawa, they got Cousins up with Stützle and Batherson now. So maybe a little shot with Dylan Cousins getting the bump. What do you think here, Perlo? Sens Mammoth.
Yeah, you got the Mammoth coming off of that road trip too, and they're coming in fat off that Rangers win, which was our best bet that last game. And I like Ottawa first period here a lot, and to score a goal in the first period. I'm going to go back. I'm going to go to that on for sure. And I got a little bit on team total over 3. That keeps me away from trying to predict the side with the goaltending situation that's going on. So ML first period is minus 105. Give me that. I think they're going to come out hard here. And I think Utah, like I said, they're coming in a little fat. The other thing that happened is Ottawa, they, again, that game in Detroit, that was a 1 foot out of the door game. I had Detroit on that one. They had the same problem against LA. But then they went to Anaheim, I went back and checked, and they scored the first goal first period in that Anaheim game, and they ended up winning the game 3-2. So I think Ottawa's going to come correct here. So give me first period money line and first goal first period, and team total over 3. I also like the over as well. I think you have to with this goaltending tandem. So.
I considered Ottawa first goal first period in this game. I think I might sprinkle on that. I like the Calgary one a lot more, but I think this one is worth a look because you do catch Utah off the road and Ottawa off a disappointing loss. And Ottawa actually has played. They've carried play lately. Let's give them some credit. Ottawa was 39-19 over Detroit in shots, 27-23 Winnipeg in shots, 32-29 over Washington in shots. Even in the losses, 28-22, they outshot Columbus, but they lose and they give up goals still, even though they're not giving up a boatload of shots every night because they're just the subpar goaltending. It's not taking many shots that these goalies are facing for Ottawa to give up, to let one in now.
Should we be looking at the draw here too? Because, I mean, if Ottawa is ahead in the third, it's hard to trust that goaltending to be able to sit the fourth.
This is an in-game draw. I want to get a sense.
I was about to say, yeah. If I would have bet it, I'd wait for it in game.
Just see if we were buzzing around a draw, because I could actually see Ottawa maybe winning like 5-2 tonight. Like I actually could see them just scoring, and I think Utah will chip in, but I could see 5-2, 5-3. I could see 3-3, and we go to overtime here. It's possible, but I think there's a chance I could see Ottawa, because I do lean with the Ottawa side as well. It's just the goaltending, and that's why I'm also going to go with that, probably the team total with Ottawa here in this game, in addition to the full game over. Just trust Ottawa to score, not trust them to defend. Not trust them to keep, well, to defend. They will defend, actually, probably reasonably well, but you don't trust the goaltenders, even with reasonably decent defense. They had reasonably decent defense against Detroit, and they still, gave up 5 goals, because the goaltending is just really, really suspect right now. They're two guys that I don't think should be at the NHL level just yet, Marilyn, and obviously we'll see about Sogard, because he's had some opportunities before, and he's looked decent at times, but certainly not Hunter Shepard either. That was pretty rough from him as well when he came in for Marilyn against Detroit.
I don't even know why Hunter Shepard ever got the call over Sogard, in my opinion. Sogard's the better option. Hunter Shepard's the AHL guy at best.
I think that was Steve Staios recognizing his mistake too and rectifying it, because now all of a sudden Sogard's back up with the Ottawa Senators, and he's backing up Marilyn and not Shepard anymore. All right, next up, final game, Battle of Cali here. San Jose, Los Angeles, LA minus 260, home favorites, 6 the total in this game. It is back-to-back for the San Jose Sharks, and the Los Angeles Kings have started to put some wins together. 2 in a row for the first time in a while, especially at home. I mean, I think that's the first time they've won 2 in a row at home all year, beating the Minnesota Wild, back-to-back home games recently. And so and look, they're scoring now. Let's give the Kings credit. There's a little bit of an offensive uprising here for the Los Angeles Kings in recent games. And they're actually 5-0 to the over, the LA Kings, in their last 5 games. So a little bit of an over streak. And the reason for that is, again, because all of a sudden the offense is starting to click just a little bit. During this 5-game streak, they have scored a total of 20 goals. 20 goals in the last 5 games during this streak. That's an average of 4 goals per game. And that's a big reason why we're seeing 5 straight LA Kings games have gone over the total. On the flip side, you guys know with San Jose what I've been talking about, this overrun for San Jose. And I thought it was going to die for a change last night until it didn't, thanks to a couple of late empty net goals for the San Jose Sharks. San Jose now 9-0-1 to the over in their last 10 games. And I've been riding it every time. I think that's 4 or 5 or 6 in a row of these. I've been on these overs with San Jose. I'm on it tonight. And yes, I don't usually bet LA Kings overs, but we're making an exception tonight. Over 6 here, Sharks and Kings. Jonathan was mentioning to me earlier that we might get a Anton Forsberg start tonight. There's a chance it may not be Darcy Kemper. Kemper started a few in a row. And he started against his old team, the team he started his career with, Minnesota. And I forgot to factor that in those 2 damn Minnesota games. Kemper against his old team be fired up to play. And he did. Played very well in those 2 games against the Minnesota Wild. But like I said, definitely, it could be a Forsberg night. That's not confirmed. You would think Yaroslav Askarov here on the back-to-back for San Jose, because we saw Nedeljkovic last night for the San Jose Sharks. By the way, Armia, Kopitar, and Moore all out, and Perry on IR. Oh, it is Kemper again? Okay, there you go. Get the confirmation from JD that it is going to be Darcy Kemper here for LA. But as far as the injury situation for LA, yes, they are banged up a bit. Moore, Perry, Armia, Kopitar. It looks like all of them here ruled out for this game tonight. So going to be some lineup shakeups here out of necessity for Jim Hiller. Alex Laferriere, Kempe, who's going to go up to that top line. We'll see. Fogle, Byfield, who's going to play with them. You would think Kuzmenko is going to go up, now with some of these injuries. And he scored a hell of a goal against Minnesota. It was a death nail goal to Minnesota, that 3-1 goal, standing still. And Kuzmenko made them look silly. So, like I said, definitely we're going to go over this total. It's a combination of the Kings have gone over in 5 straight. 9-0-1 run for the Sharks to the over. And even head-to-head. I couldn't believe the head-to-head. Well, actually, when I started to think of it, I was recalling some of the recent Sharks versus Kings game. I'm like, Sharks versus Kings games. And I'm like, you know what? Now that I think of it, a lot of the games have been higher scoring head-to-head with San Jose and LA. And it's true. 4 straight overs, 4-3, 4-3, 8-1, 7-2. The final scores of the last 4 San Jose versus LA games, and you go back further, it's been pretty strong that 7 of the last 9 meetings between the Sharks and the Kings have had at least 6 goals scored. So, and that 6 is what you need for a push minimum here in this game. So, yeah, I ended up on over 6 here. Ryan Reeves versus Jeff Malott fight. I'd like to see that, Robert. It's possible. Jeff Malott can scrap. He can drop the glove. His brother is the UFC fighter, Malott. Yep. Mike Malott, who's in the UFC. Jeff's his brother. And, of course, Jeff's in the NHL, and he kind of does that thing, but he does it on the ice, not in the octagon. So it's pretty cool. The Malott brothers, both tough bricks, if you ask me. So, yeah, no question. Alex, what do you think here? San Jose, LA.
Yeah, and that wouldn't shock me one bit with the way Reeves lost last night. Maybe, you look for a little redemption and you happen to have another.
Salvage some pride, right? You got to bounce back after something like that, and he might get challenged a lot.
And in the new days of the NHL, you don't always necessarily have a heavyweight to fight every night. Now you actually do in this case. So that might be something to look for. But I like the over as well. Small piece of the over 6 minus 120. I'm going to wait and play a little bit larger on 5.5 because it's the LA Kings. It's not necessarily going to be goals early. So we may be able to get a 5.5 at a better price. But I like goals here too. So just going with the over. Running back with the same 2 guys who cashed for us last night. Alex Winberg and Pavel Regenda. You can still get bargain bin prices with them. They won't be my bargain bin picks, but those are goal scorers that I'll have some money on.
Oh, Regenda will be. Regenda is one of my bargain bins here tonight for sure. I'm riding it again with plus 500 with the way he's going right now. The hat trick against Tampa, the goal last night. That's now 2 games in a row with a goal for him. That's now 4 of the last 5 games he's scored for San Jose as well entering tonight. So. Yeah, got to bet him, no doubt. I like Chernyshov again for San Jose. And keep an eye on the lineup configuration for LA with no Kopitar, no Moore, no Armia, no Perry. There's going to be a lot of shakeups with the lineup combinations. And whoever's moving up to line 1 and line 2, the top 2 lines, there's going to be value on their props tonight. So keep an eye on what the line combinations will be for LA as we get closer to the opening face-off tonight. Perla, what do you think here? Sharks, Kings.
Yeah, we see those lineup changes. Like, I don't know why he's mixing it up in this way, but again, I'm going to go to the first period here. I think those lines are going to be kind of throwing the puck around. They haven't played with each other before, and San Jose should come out crazy. They want. I think San Jose is going to want to get this game in the bag right away if they can. That was a tough game that they played. So I think they're going to come out hard. You're getting for money line, you're getting plus 190, 195 or something like that. Give me Sharks money line here. I do like the over as well. And I also I'll go back, give you another shot prop. Celebrini, I don't even know how you're getting plus 120 on this. Over 3.5 shots, plus 120 is flying over this, and now you got Kopitar out, so there's less players up the middle that are going to be able to stop him. I think he's going to be shooting like crazy here, so give me that. And Byfield should be on the top line if he is. I like his over 1.5 shots as well. But I like San Jose money line, and I like you have been rolling with Anaheim, Edmonton, and San Jose. I just bet them over every single game until something tells me
proven otherwise. Yep. Yeah, that's why I'm a streaks better. Everybody knows that. I've been in this business now for 15 years, and I've told everybody all this time that I'm a streaks better. When I start to see a streak starting, I start riding it until it loses. Whether it's a total streak, whether it's a side streak and a point spread streak, you name it. Yeah. We start riding it. And that's what we're doing. We've done it with all these teams.
Spots and streaks. Find the spot, find the streak. If you get the 2 of them, then there you got a best bet.
Yep. That's a big part of it, no doubt. They're a good job by Jonathan posting the line combinations. It's a blender indeed. I'm seeing he's got Alex Turcotte with Kuzmenko and Fiala. He's got Byfield with Malott and Fogle. He's got Laferriere with Kempe. And it feels like Taylor Ward could be, who's just got called up, by the way, could be on that top line with Laferriere and Kempe. So he'd be probably the top value player prop for Los Angeles if that is indeed the case. No question about that. So there we go. That's what I like here for this game. I'm also, you know what? I have to. At this price, I don't love it because LA's starting to get things rolling. That being said, they've got some injuries, and this price is crazy. It's enough for me to say, give me a small piece of pizza bet for me, pizza money for me on San Jose, plus 210 as well. It's just, I know they're on a back-to-back after playing last night, but come on. I would not be able to live with it if I see LA lose tonight as a minus 260 favorite and I didn't have a chunk of the other side. So that's kind of where I'm at here. That I got to take a small little sliver here, plus 210 on this San Jose Sharks side. All right, great stuff. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Hit the like button. We appreciate it very much. Again, everyone in the chat, thanks again for joining us. Reminder, wizardsportspicks.com. Get on board. It's been a great run. Last 30 days, up over 20 units of profit. Get on the board. Premium picks, great handicappers on the site. Check out the Beyond the Lines video series on the YouTube channel every day. And profitable seasons, and not only in NHL, NFL, NBA, and college basketball, and ranked number 1 right now in 2 different sports right now, in 3 actually, NFL, NHL, and college basketball. If you can believe it, number 1 on the website in all 3 right now. I am. So it's been great. We'll try to keep it going. Check it out, wizardsportspicks.com. Check out patreon.com/iceguys, just $10 per month. Goalie charts, totals charts, our daily betting cards, sides, totals, player props posted each and every day on the Patreon page. And again, by the end of the week, we'll know what the Patreon exclusive live betcast dates are, but we'll announce those the day of each betcast. But we have an idea of what we got in mind for that. And of course, our free-for-all betcast will be Tuesday, January 20th, 7 p.m. Eastern time. So again, make sure you check it out. Get on board if you haven't already. Your membership goes a long way to supporting the show and keeping it going long term. So get on board for just $10 per month at patreon.com/iceguys.
And also check out the Ice Guys store, iceguys.myspreadshop.com. We've got all kind of great items, wonderful caps, hoodies, T-shirts, you name it. We've got it. Everything listed right now and available at the Ice Guys store. So check that out, iceguys.myspreadshop.com.
Good stuff. All right, bargain bin special of the night and best bets coming up right after we hear from our great Ice Guys sponsors.
Wizard Sports Picks, featuring the finest handicappers in the universe. Sharp insights, trusted picks, and relentless results. We strive to help you become consistent winners. This is Wizard Sports Picks.
Kings and queens shop.
Thanks to all our sponsors, including Royal Cannabis. Check them out, royalcannabisshop.com, 20% off with promo code ICEGUYS. All right, bargain bin special of the night. Gosh, we got what a tough chore it is to follow up last night with an encore, but we will try. From the same game and the same team, 2 San Jose Sharks bargain bin specials last night, courtesy of Pavel Regenda and Alex Wenberg. We'll see what we can follow that up with tonight. Alex, we'll start with you. Bargain bin special of the night.
All right, we got 2 bargain bins tonight. The first one comes from that Calgary and Montreal game. And sometimes the books don't adjust when you're seeing line changes happen. Connor Zary is moving from the 4th line all the way up to the 1st line. You can get him anytime goal plus 525. That's not my bargain bin play. I like him to score the first goal of the game at 30-1. We like Calgary to get that first goal in the first period. So we're going to add on Connor Zary to get the first goal of the game plus 3,000. That's bargain bin special number 1. Bargain bin special number 2, we go to 1901 West Madison. We got the Hawks taking on the Blues, big-time Central Division showdown. And I like Artem Lashunov to get an anytime goal plus 800 was the price that I got over at FanDuel. So Artie Party plus 800 is my second bargain bin special, and that first one is Connor Zary, first goal of the game at 30 to 1.
All right, there you go. Connor Zary, Calgary, not just a goal, but first goal of the game, 30 to 1 for Alex with that one, and Levshunov for the Chicago Blackhawks as well for Alex with bargain bin special. All right, Perlo, bargain bin special of the night.
I got two, and guys been in the chat saying it over and over and over again. I'm going to take Toffoli at plus 320 there for in San Jose. He's been shooting a ton. I like him in that second line spot. I'm going to take Toffoli. And also, I'm doing this because I saw an interview with Mr. Snuggerud. He's from Minnesota, and he hated the Chicago Blackhawks when he was younger. And he's playing now against, this is one of those like I did with Danielson before. I think Snug, it's time for him to step up here in St. Louis. So I'm going to take him at plus 350 as well.
All right, there you have it. Couple bargain bins for Perlo, and of course, two as well from yours truly. Two from me as well on this Wednesday. We will go to Ottawa, Utah first. I mentioned him earlier. He's streaky. I think he goes for his third in a row with a goal tonight. Michael Carcone, Utah Mammoth, plus 500. And as I already mentioned, we are riding Pavel Regenda one more time tonight for the San Jose Sharks. Plus 500 for him as well. So a couple of plus 500 bargain bin special prices for me tonight. So Michael Carcone, Utah, plus 500. Pavel Regenda, San Jose, also the same price, plus 500 for my two bargain bin specials for this Wednesday night. All right,
Perlo. Wait, before we go to the best bets, Perlo, mention your show that you're doing on nights.
Oh yeah. Catch me on Rico and Perlo's House of Jaime's NHL Picks Frolic. We did it on Dre Martinez. I got to mention that. Go over to Exotic Wagers on Twitter. Get yourself signed up because we're going back and forth on our channels now. So if you didn't catch me last night, it's because we were on his channel. But yeah, we have a lot of fun out there. You can catch us at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. We go over all the games like we do here, but you actually get to watch cappers figure it out as you go. And sometimes it takes quite a while, but it's a lot of fun. A lot of people are watching it. So thanks for allowing me to do that. So this isn't my best bet time though, right? It's Alex's.
No, that's right.
Just giving you the time for the
specific order here, Perlo. As you know, good stuff. Well done. You remember that. All right, best bets. We always start with our guy here, Alex. No, that's not Alex. Sorry. There he is, Professor Alex B. Smith. Best bet.
Yeah, right. Got to wear the spectacles today. We're going with that Calgary Flames first goal, first period. Plus 130. That's a great spot. Plus 140 is the best price available for that at FanDuel. My excuses. Plus 135 was available at BetMGM, but plus 140 at FanDuel is the best price available. So Calgary Flames, first goal, first period. That will be my Wednesday best bet.
All right, there you go. Calgary first goal, first period, plus 140 for Alex with best bet. Perlo, best bet.
I give you a prop and a regular bet. So I'm gonna go with the LA San Jose over 6 for my regular play, and the prop, I'm going back to that green over 1.5 shots at plus 105.
All right, we're going to have a dual best bet. That means multiple people on the same best bet on the show today because it's better than any totals bet for me. It's what Alex mentioned. I love it. Calgary first goal, first period, plus 140. We've had this spot circled for days, weeks even. No, not weeks, but at least a few days we've had this spot circled. It's a great spot. Calgary off a couple of losses to end the homestand. Going on the road, I expect focused, dialed-in effort right out of the gate. Montreal sluggish after the 7-game road trip. Calgary gets that first goal. Calgary first goal, first period, plus 140. Best bet. Shout out to everyone in the chat at the like button. We appreciate it very much. Again, looking forward to this Wednesday slate. Big slate tomorrow on Thursday. Looking forward to that as well. A reminder, the Ice Guys is live 7 days a week, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern, Saturday and Sunday, noon Eastern. If you can't watch the show live, download the Ice Guys podcast in audio form on all major podcast platforms. For Alex B. Smith and Perlo, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Wednesday night. Enjoy the games and good luck, and we are back tomorrow on Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern for another edition of the Ice Guys.